We're waiting.
Yeah.
Hare
7:30.
Krishna. Hare Krishna. I'm here in Oceano near San Luis Obispo at the home of Pollock and her Grace, April. And so we're going to start with Kirtan. It's Janmastami. Happy Janmastami, everyone.
Yes,
So can you put a book under there so we can have this a little higher?
Yes, absolutely.
I wish everyone a very happy Janmastami. So we'll do that. And we'll plug this in. Actually, a little closer.
Closer.
Plug that in.
More books?
Yeah. Other side. There we go. Yeah, tilt this a little bit.
More book?
Yeah.
One more.
Two more books.
Oh, I just unplugged it. Maybe one more?
Yeah, one more is good.
Lift it up, Pollock. Lift it up.
Não vai ficar bravo.
And then we'll plug that in again.
Yeah.
Other side.
No?
To the left. No, yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, we need a little more light behind the.
Behind, okay.
Yeah, that lamp. If you can put that behind the.
We have this too, I could.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, put it behind the table. Yeah, that's good.
You've got it. That's because I tried to bungee everything to try to keep people from shipping.
There.
Here, let me do it. Paul. Let me pull the thing up.
So begin Kirtan?
Yes.
Ready to go, Bob? a Prabhupada melody, which I'm going to sing. Govinda, Hari Purusha, Govinda, Adi Purusha. So, in case you don't know the words, Govindam, Adi Purusham, the original person. Tam, him, aham, I, bhajami, worship. I worship him, Govinda, the original person. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We're singing a Prabhupada melody, an old Prabhupada melody.
Very nice.
Adi Purusham, bhajami, Govindam, Adi Purusham, Another Prabhupada song is not sung as much as it was back then. Bhaja Bhakata Vatsala. Bhakata is just Bengali Bhakta. Bhakata Vatsala Sri Gauda Hari. Worship Sri Gauda Hari, Golden Krishna, Lord Chaitanya, because he is Bhakata Vatsala. He has great affection for his devotees. Actually, the word Vatsa in Sanskrit means a calf. And so, just as a cow, because of course we're talking about a culture that was kind of dairy intensive. I mean, people lived in the country and there were cows all over and they observed nature. And so, Vatsala means the affection that a cow feels for its own calf. So it means like parental affection, Vatsala. So Krishna, and that's how we get Vatsalya Rasa, parental affection for Krishna. So Bhakata Vatsala means worship Sri Gauda Hari, worship Golden Hari, Golden Krishna, who has parental affection for his devotees. That's the idea. Bhakata Vatsala Sri Gauda Hari. And then who is Sri Gauda Hari? Sri Gauda Hari. Sri Gauda Hari, Golden Hari. Sri Gauda Hari. So he is indeed, so he goes to Bihari, the same boy who was enjoying in the pasturing grounds of Vrindavan. In other words, Krishna. Sri Goda Hari, so he is certainly Gosta. Gosta means where the cows are, the pasturing grounds. The cows. Bihari, the one enjoyed in the pasturing grounds. That's Krishna. Sri Goda Hari, Gosta Bihari. Then Nanda Jashoda Chitta Hari. Nanda Jashoda Chitta Hari means Krishna who stole the minds of Nanda and Jashoda, his parents in Vrindavan. So it's very interesting because the same song says that he has parental affection for us, for his devotees, but then he was also the object of parental affection of his own pastime parents, Nanda and Jashoda. It's a very beautiful song. And then the last line is Govinda, Govinda, So I'll explain what that means actually. Very interesting. Namaste, Narasimhaya. First, I bow to you. Namaste just means bow. I bow to you, Narasimha. Namaste, Narasimhaya. Pralada, Ladadaine. To you who gave bliss, spiritual bliss to Prahlad. Because the word Prahlad means like very blissful. So Prahlad, Ahlada, they're synonyms. So Daine, to the one who gave. To the one who gave bliss to Prahlad. Namaste Narasimhaya Prahlada Ahlada Daine Hiranya Kashipur Vaksha. The chest of Hiranyakashipu. Vaksha means chest. Hiranyakashipur Vaksha Shila. Shila means stone, like Shalagram Shila. In this context, Sheila, my little Sheila, Shalagram Sheila. Anyway, so the Sanskrit word is actually Shila. In case anyone's interested out there. So it's Hiranyakashipur Vaksha Shila. So the stone chest, the stone-like chest of Hiranyakashipu, Tanka with a chisel. Hiranyakashipur Vaksha Shila Tanka Nakalaye with a chisel, which were his own nails. His own nails were like a chisel of the stone of Hiranyakashipu's chest. Hiranyakashipur Vaksha Shila Tanka Nakalaye, and then Ito Nrsinga Parato Nrsinga. Here is Nrsinga, there is Nrsinga. Yato Yato Yami, wherever I go. Yami means I go. If you know Spanish or Portuguese, the M is used in the first person plural, like vamos, that most, that ending most, first person plural, it's actually Sanskrit. The M is used for the first person. It's like yami means I go, and yamos, like vamos, yamos means we go. You'd be interested in that little pronoun remnant of Sanskrit in Latin languages. So, yato yato yami. In Sanskrit, when you repeat the Y words, it's like wherever, like yada means when, and yada yada means whenever. So yada yada he dharmasti whenever dharma is when, and so on. So certainly yato means where, and yato yato wherever. So yato yato yami, wherever I go, tato, there is Nrsinga. So here is Nrsinga, there is Nrsinga. Wherever I go, there is Nrsinga. It's very nice. Ito Nrsinga, Parato Nrsinga, Yato Yato Yami, Tato Nrsinga, Bahir Nrsinga, outside is Nrsinga, Hridaye, in my heart is Nrsinga. Nrsinga, so within, Nrsinga Madim Sharanam Prapadye, and I surrender to. Interesting, the word which is always translated surrender, prapadyate, or here in the first person, prapadye, literally means approach, because pad in Sanskrit means to go. That's where you get the word pada, the foot, the goer. That's where you get the English word tripod, right? Tripada. So podiatrist is a pod doctor. I guess that's where gurus go, right? The pod doctor. Anyway, so we still have that word in English. From Sanskrit, pada, podiatrist, tripod, and so on. So, and then pra is like English pro, like protagonist, pro, so it means like forth. So prapadyate means go forth, or to approach, or to go toward. So prapadye, I approach. It's interesting how the word that which has been it's been translated as surrender for many, many centuries. It's an old, ancient translation. But it literally means to approach. So it's like Prabhupada said, if you approach the sun, you become fire. So as you approach Krishna, you start to become Krishnized. And if I'm envious of Krishna, I turn back. So, because it doesn't feel good. Oh my God, like he's becoming the center of my life. I want to be the center of my life. That's basically it. Like, who gets to be the center of my life? Is it me or is it God? And so if you can't, like they say, if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. And so, yeah, so as you approach Krishna, if you don't like heat, you can't approach the sun or move to Florida. So that's the idea, that as you approach Krishna, you become Krishnized. And so if you don't want to become Krishnas, if you don't want to be, then you turn back. So therefore, the very act of steadily approaching Krishna, continuing to approach Krishna, is surrender. And that's why that word for many centuries has been translated as surrender. Although it literally means to approach, prabhad, to go toward, to go forth. So, yato yamito bahir nrsinga hriday. So, bahir, outside is nrsinga hridaye, in my heart is nrsinga, and nrsinga madi, to the original shelter. Adi, like Adi Purusha, means original at first. So, to Nrsinga, and then by the way, the M at the end of the word Nrsingham, Adim, the M makes it the object of the verb, which in grammar is called the accusative. And we still have it in English too. There's like one word where English has retained that ancient Sanskrit M, which turns a word from a subject into an object. And anyone guess what that one English word is? Where it survives? It's the word whom. To whom. Like, you see whom. So if the word whom is the object of the verb, like who, you add an M at the end. Like, who is it? And I see whom. So putting the M to make it the object of the verb, that's actually Sanskrit. You might thought you'd find that amusing. A remnant. So Nrsingham. By the way, some people say Nrsimha, which is wrong. The M in Nrsinga is not an M. It's an M with a dot over it, which is technically called the Sanskrit anuswara, the pure nasal sound. So the next time you see someone hear someone say Nrsimha, you should go and plead with them not to say that. So it's actually Nrsinga. It's like the English word sing, like singing in the morning. So it's Nrsinga. So the M with a dot over it is actually a pure nasal sound. It's not an M, although it's written that way. So Nrsinga Madim, Sharanam. Sharanam means shelter. So to Nrsinga, the original shelter, I surrender. So it's a very beautiful song. We'll sing it again now. Hopefully you remember what these words mean. Again, Pralada Ahlada. Namaste Narasimhaya. Aya, the Aya ending in Sanskrit is the dative form. The fourth case, it means unto. Krishnaya, Narasimhaya, Ramaya means unto. So Namaste Narasimhaya. I bow to you unto Nrsinga. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Radha Madhav Naide. Radha Madhav Naide. Sharanam Singamati Sharanam Now think what those words mean. Tava means your. In Spanish, tuyo, teu in Portuguese. So all those, anyway, I won't get into pretty particles of pronouns. So suffice it to say, in many languages, like tu means you in Italian and French, and it becomes du in German. So all that tu, it's actually Sanskrit. Sanskrit adds Sorry for all this grammar, just tolerate it. In Sanskrit, they add the ending like for pronouns. So it's actually tu It's actually tu which means you. That's where the tu comes from in all of European languages. And so tava means yours, or your. So tavakara, your hand. Tavakara, your hand. The hand, the Sanskrit verb kri, to do. From that you get the word kara, the doer. And we still have that in English, the Sanskrit kri, in words like create. That Sanskrit verb kri, and so that create, and so kara, that the doer, the maker, which means the hand. The hand is does everything. So tavakara, by the way, because it means hand, it also in Sanskrit means taxes. You know, the hand. So tavakara kamala, your hand lotus. We say lotus hand. In Sanskrit, they say hand lotus. It's interesting because in Sanskrit, it's not like it's a hand which is like a lotus. It's a lotus which is also a hand. It's interesting. So they say tavakara kamala, your hand lotus. Vare, vara, in Sanskrit means here at the end of a compound, it means excellent. I'll tell you how it comes to mean excellent. Because the word vara comes from a root which means to choose, and so it means choice. It means a choice. It's just like in the fourth Damodar verse that Varang Deva Mokshang the Mokshavadim Va Nachanyam Vrineham Varesha Rapiha, that I don't choose any choice, literally. So just like in English, you choose something because it's the best in its class. Like you're, buying organic oranges at the orange bin at Whole Foods, and you try to pick the best oranges. And so to say something is choice means it's the best. So that's true in Sanskrit and also in English. So for example, the choice mountain, in other words, meaning the best mountain, is Girivara. So Krishna's Girivaradhari, the one who held up the choice mountain. It actually means like the excellent mountain, the best of mountains, because that's the one you choose. So that's how the word vara, which literally means choice, and then it comes to mean boon, because it's what you choose, the boon. So it also, it means excellent. So tava kara kamala vara, or vare, in your excellent hand lotus. Tava kara kamala vare, nakam is a nail. Nails like fingernails. Tavakara kamala vare nakam adbhuta, which is astonishing, amazing, wonderful. Adbhuta means wonderful, which is it's like a wonderful curved shape, sringa. So tavakara kamala. So this whole first line is just a description of the nails that killed Hiranyakashipu. But in the process of describing the nail, you get a description of Krishna's lotus hand and everything. Very poetic. Jayadev's poems are really amazing. Tavakara kamala varena kam adbhuta singam dalita, which means ripped apart. Hiranyakashipu tanu bringam. Bringam means a wasp. So it's interesting. Krishna has the hand lotus, and poor Hiranyakashipu, gold cushion. There's Goldfinger, James Bond. This is gold cushion. Hiranyakashipu. So gold cushion it's interesting. There's this contrast between Lord Nrsinga's hand lotus and Hiranyakashipu's body wasp or wasp body, because he was just like, wasp. It's like they don't make good pets, and so it's called his wasp of a body. And Lord Nrsinga Dalita, it was ripped apart by that beautiful lotus, by those amazing nails, those wonderful nails on the lotus hand. That's what it's saying. Tavakara Kamala Varena Kama Bhuta Singam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu. Tanu means body. Tanu Bringam Keshava. And now, because the song is in the vocative case, in other words, it's addressing the Lord, because it starts out Tava, which means your. So therefore, we're speaking to the Lord, because it begins your lotus hands. And so then Keshava, it's actually, we say like Keshava Dri. So grammatically it's Keshava, comma, Drita Narahari Rupa. Drita means you have assumed. You have assumed. So Keshava, Drita, you have assumed the man-lion form. Keshava Drita Narahari Rupa. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jai, like Viva. All glories to the Jagad Isha, the Lord of the universe. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Hare is just the vocative form of Hari. Hare. It's very beautiful. Tavakara Kamala Varena Kamad Bhuta Singam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringam Keshava Dritanara Hari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare. That's what it means. Beautiful poem. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Actually, Prabhupada's saying a slightly different melody like this. Keshavadrita, you go Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagatisha Hare Jaya Jagatisha Now here's another melody that Prabhupada's saying. Prabhupada actually recorded this and it's practically forgotten all over the world. So I like to sing it to the world so everyone remembers that Prabhupada sang this beautiful melody. He was a genius, musical genius, spiritual genius also, but Prabhupada could do things on a harmonium and drum that no one else can do. It's amazing. I mean, the sounds he got out of the harmonium, and it's just amazing. Just can't be imitated. Anyway, so Prabhupada sang this melody, recorded. My arrangement. Nostalgic.
Haribol.
So I guess I'm supposed to speak about Krishna also. It's just so much fun singing about Krishna. So that was no extra cost. So today's Janmastami. The first thing I will do is it's amazing. I've actually gone like an hour without eating. So I'll explain actually the word Janmastami. Janma means birth, and we still have words in English from the Sanskrit. The Sanskrit word Janma comes from the root Jan, which of course we have English generate, to produce something. So generate is just janatri or janiyati in Sanskrit. That's our word generate. And janma means birth. And ashta is Spanish ocho, acht. In all these languages, the same word. In Sanskrit, ashta, German means 8. The number 8, German acht, and English 8, and Spanish ocho, oito, in Portuguese. So in Sanskrit, it's ashta. And ashtami is the ordinal number, which means like 8th, 9th, 10th, 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Those are the ordinal numbers, put things in order. And so ashtama, actually ashtama means 8th, but it's feminine word ashtami, because all those words like ekadashi, dwadashi, trayodashi, they're all just feminine ordinal numbers referring to different tithis. Tithi is a lunar day, And because the Vedic calendar and also the ancient Hebrew calendar that went by the moon, the lunar days, because they were very much, their culture was very much linked to astrology. And therefore, they were very interested in the night sky. Because that's when you see, that's the news. I mean, that's when the news comes out, like, and now the news. So as soon as the sun comes down, it's the daily news. Or the nightly news, it's the evening news when the sun goes down. And so because of that, because they would get the news from all over the universe and from their planet by the night sky, so therefore the lunar days were very important, because when you calculate lunar days, you also calculate the lunar mansions and the, obviously I'm not an astrologer, but that's what it is, the nakshatras. So they went by the lunar calendar, and the word tithi means a lunar day. It's a feminine word in Sanskrit. Therefore, the 8th, if you say the 8th feminine, in this case it refers to the 8th tithi, the 8th lunar day. That's why all these words like ekadashi, I mean, you start from the dwadashi, trayodashi, and panchami, and shashti, and saptami, and ashtami, and navami, and dashami, and ekadashi, and dwadashi, trayodashi, chaturdashi. They're all just, those are just the feminine ordinal numbers in Sanskrit. And so because Krishna was born on the 8th lunar day, it's Janma Ashtami. Birth on the 8th lunar day. And so now you know what the word Janmastami means. Or Ekadashi simply means the 11th, meaning the 11th tithi, the 11th lunar day. That day which we all love so much because we get to perform austerity. So Krishna appeared, and you got to admit, it was a really nice thing to do, to come down into our universe. I mean, what a great guy. It's interesting. It's like, like relatives, they, if someone in your family goes to jail, you visit them. Right? And that's what families do. They visit their relatives in jail. So Krishna comes to this world like, how you doing down there? Ready to come out yet? So Krishna comes, is really nice. He comes into this world, and It's very interesting because Krishna says in chapter 9 of the Bhagavad Gita, Maya tatamidam sarvam. I wonder if we could actually put this a little closer. It's better to see you, my dear. Yeah. Might be a little easier for people to see. Except now I'm tilted because the computer.
Let's put a book. Maybe. Oh, now we're saying balancing acts.
Okay, put the book. Let's see if that works.
And it's still going to be tipped. Right on, drop your thing.
Sorry for this technical thing. Okay, I'm actually not tilted, but my computer is tilted. So, yeah, maybe you could.
Just stand here. Put your hand under there. I'll find something.
Yeah. So, or a little book. So Krishna is so kind that he comes down here like, how you doing, everybody? And very good. And he says in Bhagavad Gita why he comes. So Krishna's birth, he describes his own birth in the Bhagavad Gita. And, in chapter 4, and very interestingly, when Krishna begins to describe his birth, the very first thing he says is, Ajopi son, even though I'm not born. Very interesting. In chapter 6 of the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, when Krishna is describing his birth, the very first thing he says is, although I'm actually not born. In other words, because Krishna is really trying to emphasize here that, look, I'm trying to be nice. I'm coming into this world. I'm even playing with everyone. I'm acting like a human being. Don't misinterpret this. Don't think that I'm just an ordinary human being. It's almost like, let's say you're in jail and your father goes to visit you. Hey, they busted you too. Like, what are you in for, Dad? No, I'm actually just visiting you. And so that's what Krishna's trying to explain, that no, I'm not a conditioned soul like you. I'm just visiting. So therefore, in describing his birth, the very first thing he says is, although I'm not born. Ajopi san abhiyatma bhutanam ishwaropi san prakriti sam avashtabhi. I utilize my own energy. Sambhavami, and I come in every age. And then Krishna says why he comes, yada yada, whenever. Yada means when, yada yada, whenever. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata, whenever there is a collapse of dharma. Whenever there is a weakening, a collapse of dharma. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata, abhiyuttanam. It's very interesting. We have in English the word stand, which is Sanskrit stan, same word, stan, stand. And so uttana means literally upstanding, like standing up, like an uprising of something. So abhi means aggressive. So abhiyuttanama dharmasya. Whenever there's sort of like an aggressive uprising of adharma, which means really like illegality, like criminal behavior. Because the word dharma in Sanskrit also means law. Dharma, that's also the word for law. So the law books in Sanskrit are called the Dharma Shastras. That's how you say law book in Sanskrit. And so there are laws of the universe which are rational. And so adharma, abhyutanam adharmasya, which is what Krishna says in chapter 4 of the Gita, literally means there is this like uprising of criminality. So abhyutanam adharmasya tada, then. So whenever this happens, then tadat manam sajamyaham, I manifest myself here in this world. So Krishna describes like when, under what conditions he comes to this world. Was that for me?
Yes.
Okay. For those who are watching, this is, what is it?
Water.
Oh, it's only water.
Agua.
Yeah. Don't believe any false rumors. This is just water. I'm only drinking water. It's not true what they say about the guru. So Krishna says that whenever this happens, then I come. And then he says what he does when he gets here. Paritranaya sadhunam. In order to save the sadhus, which in this case really just means good people. Good people. Decent people. Oh, thank you. I'm getting a series of upgrades. So, party is very interesting. Paritran, every word in Sanskrit is so interesting, as Prabhupada said. Party, of course, we have also in English, paritranaya, through the Greek. The Greeks just pronounced it peri, P-E-R-I, like periscope or perimeter, right? I mean, the word perimeter in English literally means, meter means measuring. So parimeter just means measuring around. Like so. And perimeter in Sanskrit, just parimatra. Parimatra, perimeter, just measuring around. So, so in Sanskrit, as a prefix, pari, around, is a sense, it's used often in the sense of completely, like all around. Like, so a trana is saving. So paritrana means completely saving, like all around, like just completely saving. So Krishna says, paritranaya, in order to completely save sadhunam, for the complete salvation of good people, decent people. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya, and for the destruction, duskritam, literally those who do evil. Duskrita, doing evil. And for the destruction of those who are doing evil. So this is objective. This is not like, it's not like some crazy theology is like, you don't love me, I'm going to annihilate you because I'm a jealous God. And, I have issues. So if you don't love me, I'm going to. It's not like that. Actually, I want to bring in at this point a very interesting, sort of almost rhetorical question that Socrates asked Euthyphro. It's famous in Western philosophy, this question. Euthyphro is kind of a self-righteous ass who was self-righteous but not righteous, like most people in this country that think they're righteous. So you're sort of like really proud of being righteous and like really hate other people. That's more like self-righteous than righteous. So that was Euthyphro. And so Socrates asked him this amazing question. He said, are some actions good? Are they considered moral actions because the gods love them? Or do the gods love those actions because they are good? In other words, is there an objective goodness that is being enforced or promoted by divine beings? Or are they simply acting whimsically like, hey, it's like, to give an example, is of whimsical gods, you have no further to look than Homer, like the Iliad and the Odyssey. Interestingly, in the Republic, perhaps the single most famous philosophical work in the West, Plato's Republic, Plato critiques it. If you look at Homer, the Iliad and the Odyssey, like his typical scene, I'm kind of making this up, but it happens all the time in Homer, like, all the two armies are poised on the battlefield, kind of like a meat eater's Kurukshetra. And so, it's the Battle of Troy, and Zeus will say, like, I'm going to wipe out that whoever down there. And his wife Hera will say, why you can do that, Zeus? I don't like him. Just like, why don't you like him? I just don't like him. And that there's my good buddy down there fighting for the Greeks, so I'm going to save him. Why? He's my buddy. So it has nothing to do with this person is more virtuous or that person is sinful. It's just like, he's my buddy, or I don't like him. I just don't like him. So Plato was appalled by this. Plato said that's what's ruining our Greek society, is that our central text is the work of Homer, and it's like really bad religion because you have these polytheistic gods that are just like sort of like adolescent punks almost sometimes. And so Plato says, no, if there's a God who's truly worshipable, it's because of his moral perfection, not because of his whimsy. And so therefore, in this mood of saying that, real divine beings are not jealous and don't just reward or punish people for selfish reasons, rather they enforce an objective moral order. It's interesting because Buddhism, when it was still in India and sort of competing, there was a big competition in India for the hearts and minds of the people of South Asia. And the Buddhists made an argument against Hinduism, just loosely using that word, which is really it's an unfair argument if you're talking about Vaishnavas. And that is, they said, in Buddhism, we have karma, but it's just an objective law. Like, you get what you actually deserve. Whereas in Hinduism, it's about these whimsical gods rewarding and punishing people, not on the basis of an objective moral system, but because of their own likes and dislikes, which Krishna rejects. Krishna says, no, I don't do that. Krishna specifically says, Samohang sarvabhuteshu, I'm equal to everyone. By the way, just like Sindhu becomes Hindu, the S becomes an H. If you do that with samo, same, it becomes homo. That's where we get homo from. It's just the S to H from the Sanskrit samo. It means equal or the same. So Krishna says, Samohang, I am equal, sarvabhuteshu, to all beings. Na me dveshosti, I don't hate anyone. Na me priya, I don't favor anyone. So this is very interesting because in the Bhagavad Gita, you can not accept Krishna. You cannot surrender to Krishna and still be materially happy, wise, and upwardly mobile. Because Krishna clearly says in the Bhagavad Gita that those in the mode of goodness are happy, wise, and upwardly mobile in the next life. But he also says, Yajanti Satvika Devan, those in the mode of goodness worship the demigods. So this is an amazing proof that Krishna is not a jealous God. If you don't worship Krishna, but you're a good person, your goodness is rewarded. Very interesting. So, objective moral order. So that's what Krishna says. Paritranaya sadhunam. I come to fully save the sadhus, and vinashaya, for the destruction of duskritam, those who do evil. And dharma samstapanarthaya, literally for the purpose of reestablishing dharma, the moral law, the sacred law. The word dharma means law, but in a special sense, because in English, you can talk intelligibly about an unfair law. You can say that's an unfair law. But you can't say an unfair dharma because dharma means fair. It means justice and law. So in that sense, dharma means a sacred law. It means justice, a just law, a sacred law. Not simply some human concoction. So Krishna says, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskritam dharma samstapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. I appear in every age. Sambhavami. Anyway, so Krishna himself describes why he comes. And of course, the Vaishnavas always add, Krishna could wipe out the bad guys and he could save the good guys just through his representatives. Why does he personally come? And they say, well, personally comes because he loves his devotees. And also because, I would add, because he loves everyone. Because he actually loves everyone. Because even if you have a child who's a real goofball, which is sort of anyway, you have children, sometimes they turn out well and sometimes they're interesting. So, but ultimately, we are all Krishna's children. Krishna says, Pitaham Asya Jagata, I'm the father of this whole universe. Mata and the mother, by the way. Krishna also says he's the mother of the universe. So Krishna really comes to put on the greatest show on earth. He comes, he performs these amazing pastimes. It's great. It's like you got Star Wars, you got Lord of the Rings, you got, Godzilla. Everything's there. It's like, all these amazing stories, love affairs and monsters and mysteries. And it's like, I mean, he really comes so that you can give up your subscription to cable TV. So that that's why Krishna comes. He puts on this great show to entertain us. Let me entertain you. That's that song. And so Krishna really comes to entertain us out of love. He comes to entertain us and to interest us and excite us. And here's all these amazing stories. And, he lifts a mountain with the little finger of his left hand, right? Because what?
Because he plays the flute also while he's under there, at least in the history. Oh, that's true. That's what I was reading. And he sucks in the Indra's wind demon. Indra gets the flute, and Indra's attacking.
That must be one of those Indian stories.
Probably.
Of what's
I'm
there.
elaborating.
Of
Because
what's,
you got to keep Rama interested.
Oh.
Katha, so they add a little.
Yeah, and if you go to India, there is no limit to stories they'll tell. Not exactly from Shastra, but that doesn't stop anybody. So, but yeah, Krishna, actually, the story which is actually there in the Bhagavatam is he was holding up this gigantic mountain, and his friend said, "You want an arm massage?"
Oh, yeah.
And then Balaram came to his friend and said, "Hey, you want us to hold it for a while? You get tired?" He said, "That's all right. I'm okay." So that's Krishna, and Krishna appeared today, and it's amazing. He didn't appear in a manger, but he did appear in a stone cold prison cell. It's interesting. It's high drama. It's just a good story. It's Hollywood. Krishna, because after all, Krishna can appear anywhere. So, I mean, if you look at the details of the pastimes, this is Krishna as the supreme. This is Hollywood at its best. Very good point. Someone just. Oh my God, never mind. I think someone's trying to contact me. Oh, that's, I know that is. Someone I invited to the program. Okay. Krishna is the original Hollywood. Hollywood is a perverted reflection of Krishna, because he's, in fact, the Bhagavatam even says, Kunti Devi says that when Krishna comes, he comes nato natya dharo jata. He comes just like an actor in costume. Krishna even he has his pastimes as juvenile delinquent. It's interesting, there's something called the vratas. The idea is just like after graduation, in Western culture, the graduates go out and kind of do really pious things like getting drunk and having wild parties. And so, but there is a tradition in ancient India, in the Vedic tradition, where when the graduates would kind of go out and not necessarily get drunk and have wild parties and orgies and everything, but they would, it's kind of like years and years under that discipline, kind of, they want to. So Krishna, when in the Mahabharata version, when Krishna and Balaram and Bhima and Arjuna went to take out Jarasandha, put down Jarasandha, and so they entered a city dressed as these vratas, kind of like these young graduates, are kind of like a little wild. And it's interesting because there actually was like a gate to come into the city, and Krishna and Balaram said, "Nah, we're not going through the gate. That would." They just came over the top and just like started ripping things up, because there were these hills. Actually, the name of Jarasandha city was Girivraja, which means kind of like this place enclosed by hills. So they just came in and started tearing things up, and it's like, you could have come in the front door. No, it's almost like you're going to someone's house and you really want to let them know, I'm not coming here because I'm your friend. So you don't go to the front door. You just kind of smash a window and just break your, knock a wall down, come into the house. I'm not even going to show you that much respect to walk in your front door. So Krishna is in Mahabharata. Krishna and Bhima and Arjuna came in. It's really funny. The Bhagavatam, because you have the Bhagavatam version and the Mahabharata version. So in the Bhagavatam, it's so funny because they go to all this trouble to disguise themselves, and they walk into Jarasandha's court, and Krishna says, "Oh, by the way, I'm just Krishna in disguise." Anyway, so Krishna very consciously puts on the like supreme show. All these demons and like what was the first demon was I think Putana, the witch, and she has this power called Kamarupa, which literally means desire form. Like you can take any form according to your wish, your desire, Kamarupa. So she comes as beautiful lady. It's interesting because Jane Austen, honk if you're a Jane Austen fan, but it's interesting because in one of her books, Jane Austen actually says that if a woman is beautiful and nice, men will assume she has every other qualification. Like you meet a woman who's attractive and she's nice to you, yeah, she must be intelligent, she must be this, she must be everything because she's pretty and nice to me, which is a great testimony to the stupidity of men. So there are actually many such testimonies. So it's kind of like, I mean, it's true. It's in Shastra, Jane Austen, it's a joke. Like you just see some, senior devotee of the movement saying, oh my God, his latest deviation. No, that was a joke. So that tendency is there even back in Krishna Lila. So Putana came and she was really beautiful and well dressed, latest fashion, and really nice and smart. So she's beautiful and she's nice. Okay. Yeah, she must be a great person. And so she came in and, oh, that little baby, so cute. Can I nurse him? Sure. It's very interesting because Krishna knew what she was up to. She put poison on her nipple. And so he just, okay, Krishna said, sure, I'll let you nurse me and, you get credit. You're up on the scoreboard. You gave me service as your mother. But I'm going to pull out your milk. Maybe I'll just, mix it, little cocktail, pull out your milk and mix it with prana. So Krishna kind of, made a little cocktail there, mixed in her life here with the milk and just pulled it all out. And of course and then it's interesting because in Sanskrit, Putana is just like, she knows that she's dying. I mean, she's suddenly, my God, she's killing me. And so she's like, being killed can ruin your whole day. And so she's shrieking out, Muncha, like, let go of me, release me. And no way. So then it's interesting because as she was dying and her, she was losing all her strength, she lost the power to maintain that false form. And that's why as she was dying, suddenly like her arms and legs extended, she was a giant, like this giant, technically ogress. Ogre, female ogre, called an ogress. And she started knocking trees down and houses because she was real big. And you have to understand one of the great features of this Krishna Lila is the residents from Vrindavan, they're really simple people. I mean, they're nice, they're not stupid, they're intelligent, but they're just, they're just country people. You can go today, just go out in the country and talk to people that just live in the country, never go to a city, and they're just sort of nice and trusty and hi. Would you like some fresh milk? And so they're just these really nice country people. They're really country people. And, here's their little village and there's this giant demon, like just lying in the middle of their village and like, this is not normal. And then Krishna's playing on the body. Krishna's just like crawling as little babies. And so they're like, imagine. That would be very shocking if it happened in Manhattan. Although, frankly, Manhattan is like basically every 3 weeks is destroyed in some Hollywood film. And there's never been a city in history that was destroyed as regularly as Manhattan. Transformers and just everyone. Every monster worth his Hollywood contract has destroyed Manhattan at least once. So anyway, so Krishna, imagine these countries, very simple, innocent, pure-hearted country people. Like, there's Putana. And then the next demon, next in line, it's like that old song from the 60s, who will be the next in line? Anyway, so then it's Trinavarta, which literally means the grass whirler. because
really?
Trina, like Trinata Pi Sunicena, Trina means grass, and Avarta means whirling, like a whirlwind. And anyway, I won't go into all linguistics now, but there's all kinds of interesting things in English. But so Trinavarta literally means the grass whirler, because like I say, if you live out in the country and there's like sometimes you get these whirlwinds that just come, and it just sucks all the grass up. And so he came as the grass whirler. And he carried Krishna up in the sky, and then same thing, Krishna went for the ride. So like, why not? It's like the ultimate amusement park thing, He just gets on the back of this demon and whirls up. And I mean, Krishna's having a great time. He's like this whirlwind demons flying around the sky, and Krishna's just thinking in your dreams, because he thinks he's going to kill Krishna. So then Krishna just is holding onto his neck and just sort of Trinavarta's trying to tap out. And you can't tap out when you attack Krishna. So, and again, same thing, when he is being killed, as he's dying, he loses his power to maintain that form, and so he just turns back into good old Trinavarta, and just like he falls down on a stone slab, which is wrong place to fall. There's these stories like, they fell, parachute broke, fell 2,000 feet and lived. Not Trinavarta. When his parachute broke, he like fell on the stone slab, and he was, game over. So that was Trinavarta, and so it's interesting. So the residents from Vrindavan, and then another demon came. They started to think like, this may not be a safe place. Because I get all these fantastic demons keep attacking, like, may not be the best neighborhood. And so then they move, actually. They go, that was actually Mahava, and they go to Vrindavana. So, and then of course there's Krishna's pastimes in the prison, which is so amazing. Of course, if we back up one, when Balaram was born, of course the older brother, when Balaram was born, he was taken to, because Kamsa was killing all male children, so he was taken to Vrindavan, or the Vrindbraj area, and put in the lap in the hands of Rohini, who had actually given birth to the goddess. And so then that goddess, actually that wasn't done by Vasudeva, that was done by Yogamaya. And then Yogamaya, the goddess, was placed in as an infant, as a newborn girl in the prison house. There's this great scene. It's like one of the great scenes of Krishna Leela, where Kamsa comes, and it's a baby girl, and they're begging him, "Come on, there's just a baby girl," but he's just gone crazy. He just wants to kill everything connected to Krishna. And so he grabs her by her two little, this is just born. Grabs her by her two tiny little feet. And he's going to smash her against the stone floor of the prison. This was not a white-collar prison. It was not like, what they call, like club fed. This is not club fed. So he grabs her by her two infant little feet. But as he raises her to slam her down, she slips out, and she goes up into the sky as Durga with all these weapons. And Kamsa's. And then she tells him, "You fool, Manda, fool. The child that will kill you has already taken, And so, no, that's actually with Krishna. I'm sorry, I mixed it up with Balaram. That's actually with Krishna. It's changed. Yeah, sorry. A little rusty here, but with Krishna, they're exchanged. And so she says, the child who will kill you has already taken birth. And that's when Kamsa has sort of like demon's remorse. He kind of like becomes nice for a short time, and then his ministers come and say, "What are you doing?" And they actually tell him that the demigods have taken birth all over the place here. And Nanda, Vasudeva, these are actually expansions of the demigods, your mortal enemies. And so then Kamsa just goes on a killing spree. And he actually, it's interesting how so many things that kind of seeped into the Bible, because like say with Jesus born, Herod, the wicked Herod was killing all the male children. There's no confirmation of that in Greek history, or Roman history, I should say Roman history at that time. But anyway, so it said in the Bhagavatam that Kamsa gave an order that every child in the land, every male child born in the last 10 days should be killed. And so imagine the scene. I have it actually in the book I'm going to imagine the trauma and all these mothers watching their children being killed by Asura soldiers. It's tragic. And that's why Krishna, when he eventually killed Kamsa, the way he actually killed him, I mean, in the Krishna book, it describes something, but if you look at the Sanskrit, after the wrestling match, when Kamsa just went crazy and ordered Krishna Balaram to be killed, and it was much too late because he already killed all the rest of us. So Krishna, it was like, just like they have these luxury boxes, in modern football stadiums, like they have these like really luxurious, what do they call them?
Boxes.
Yeah, like up in the top of the stadium, they're air conditioning. What?
Not VIP.
Yeah, VIP boxes. Well, Kamsa was up in the VIP box, actually, in this arena. That's actually where he was. He was on top of the arena. And so Krishna just like raced right up to the top of the stadium. It was a big stadium. And Kamsa knew that this is it, And so he pulled out his sword. Kamsa is an Asura. He's not a human being. Kamsa is not a human being. If you read the 8th canto of the Bhagavatam, you'll see that he's actually from a higher realm of demons. He's not a human. That's why he's so powerful. Pulls out his sword. And it's like this scene where Kamsa is like going through all his technique, and Krishna says, forget that. He's like trying to do all these, Krishna just grabs him. He's doing all these techniques and everything. Krishna just grabs him and actually throws him off the top of the stadium. That's what the Bhagavatam describes. He throws him off the top of this huge stadium and kills him. And then Krishna goes down, and then, Kamsa has been persecuting and torturing people for so long, killing, that Krishna really wants to show everyone, including Kamsa's followers, that it's really over. So he takes him and he just drags him on the floor. He just drags him over the ground by his hair. It's like drags him all over the stadium floor. He's dead. Because, if you think about it, because a lot of times when a powerful demon is killed, then his followers try to avenge it. Like, you get an example of that in Mahabharata. Kichaka, when the Pandavas were incognito in Virat, and there was this big demon, Kichaka, who actually ruled it. King Virat wasn't actually in charge. That's clear in the Mahabharata. Because when he's basically sexually, harassing Draupadi, trying to, force her to have an affair with him, and actually threatening her, he's going to rape her. And she tells him, I'm going to tell the king. He just laughs. The king is his brother-in-law. And he just says, I'm rule this kingdom. And it's actually true. It's actually true because the king won't do it. The king is afraid of Kichaka, who's this big Asura, who's taken over his kingdom. But the point is that even when basically Bhima just bashes him into a medicine ball, Bhima just takes him and just literally takes his arms and legs and just crushes him, turns him into this unrecognizable ball of flesh. And when Bhima was angry, he would fight hard. So, but then, all the followers of Kichaka, the Anukichakas, who I use the Spanish word, the Kichakitos. And so, because that's actually what it means in Sanskrit, the Kichakitos. It's like, and it's interesting because the king was even afraid of them. And the proof is that when they were about to perform about to cremate Kichaka, and it's just like, you remember the Mahabharata where, Madri entered the fire so she could go with Pandu. So in the same way, the Kichakitos, the followers of Kichaka said that, our master died out of desire for this woman, because what Draupadi said was that these 5 Gandharvas came, because actually she kept saying that don't mess with me. You don't want. She kept telling everyone, you don't want to mess with me, because my 5 husbands are Gandharvas, and Gandharvas are like these sort of, they're like more than humans. They're more powerful than humans. So she said, my 5 husbands are Gandharvas. You do not want to mess with me. And so then when Bhima completely bashed in this Kichika, she said, I told you. And so they said, okay, but Kichika died because he wanted this woman. So let's throw her in the fire, because that way she'll go with him. Throw her in his funeral pyre. And then Draupadi, she's desperate. They're about to throw her into this fire. And she turns to the king, and the king is still afraid to act, because he's afraid even of the followers of Kichika. And of course, then it's resolved, though. Of course, you have to read my book to find out what happens next. But the point I wanted to make is that after Krishna kills Kamsa, he wants to let everyone know, don't even think about it. So he throws him off the top of the stadium. And then he just drags him by his hair, just drags him around like an animal, because he acted like an animal. So that's how Krishna killed Kamsa. Anyway, I guess I'll stop there. We heard a little Krishna Leela and the philosophy and the songs. It is Janmastami. Jai hands to the sky. Jai hands.
Jaya hands. I'll change it from the jazz. Jaya hands to the sky.
Okay, so I'd like to thank everybody who was watching on Facebook. I appreciate your watching, and happy Janmastami to everyone.